This is the men's room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The drippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
You're listening to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Say hello to our listeners jumping on at 98.5 KFOX, the South Bay's classic rock station down in San Jose, California, and also 98.9 Rock in Kansas City. And we have listeners at 105.7 The X rocking Peoria, Illinois, joining us as well. Random question day. Your guess is as good as mine. Our categories today will be picnics in honor of National Picnic Day and husbands and the return of Ask the Men's Room, all coming up.
The story you just talked about. So there's a soldier that has stepped on an IUD, loses both. IUD, sorry, IUD. Jesus.
IUD, that
IED, right. Steps on an IED.
So it's really hanging out.
Loses, when you say both legs above
Sorry, those are just so different.
I know.
God damn it.
Wow. Has she been with a lot of men?
Yeah.
Stepped on her IUD.
So now, but anyway, he had his penis and testicles blown off, and then he just 4 weeks ago got a successful surgery.
You know,
they said to recheck. But so anyway, a comment came in, and I'm sure it would be temporary. But think about this, and it sounds ridiculous, but if you got a new penis, right? It's someone else's. It came from an organ donor. You're thankful to have this, but there's the reality you were not born with this one. And the guy says, "Man, I don't know if I'd be able to masturbate if I got the transplant."
Yes, you're putting your hand on someone else's penis.
I mean, I know it's ridiculous. This sensation is yours.
But it's yours now.
But think about it if you were in a relationship, all right? So you and your wife do what you guys do in bed, and that's something she loves to do, all right? This happens. You get a penis transplant. This is for real. But you go home. You're with her, and she's glad there's something back, but do you think she's as excited? You know what I mean? Because she's going to know.
It depends on what that guy had going on there. I mean, look.
I mean, but it's weird because it was someone else's.
I don't think
not that.
I don't think
but
it's yours now.
You just want one
you
back.
want a penis.
Not you.
Yeah.
I'm
your
saying
penis.
her.
It doesn't matter.
Not you.
This is not about her.
Cares.
I'm saying she can care whatever she wants. This is about me. I need a penis.
But I'm saying, do you think it would matter to her?
Well, you can use a toy on your wife. It doesn't mean she's like, oh, I don't never want to see yours again.
But I didn't pull it out of a corpse's vagina.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's designed for that.
I'll give you a little bit more on this. Because the recipient's own reproductive tissue was destroyed, he will not be able to have biological children. He does take testosterone to compensate for the loss of his testicles and is being treated with Cialis to encourage erectile function.
Sure.
He did say, this is interesting, that he felt isolated because he didn't tell anybody, even in the hospital among other wounded soldiers. He said, there are times when you're hanging out and guys will be talking about getting hurt. And that's one of the first things when you get blown up, to check down there, and they would say things like, if I lost mine, I just kill myself. And he said, and I'm sitting there, and they didn't know, and I know they didn't mean any offense, but it kind of just hit you right in the gut. But, so far so good on that deal. So he is in good shape.
Random.
Better shape.
Mike, you'll appreciate this. This came into the comments. What do you call a guy with no arms and no legs who's been shot? An ambulance, Miles. You call him an ambulance.
Oh, what do you call?
Good God. Hello, Kyle. Welcome to the men's room.
Boo, bitches.
Boo.
All right. Okay. Since you brought that up, let's go with this one. When did bad go to worse? When did a bad situation even turn worse for you? Let's bring up a positive in your life.
Probably the night I got my Dewey.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good example. What were the circumstances?
We were out for a friend's birthday party. It was St. Patrick's Day. And it was a bad night to begin with. And then I went the wrong way trying to take someone home. And ended up turning around. And next thing you know, got pulled over by the state troopers.
And how long was that a weekend night or was that a weekday night?
It was a Saturday night, and it happened to be the night that we spring forward an hour.
That's not a bad thing.
No, it was just one of those. It just ended up a bad night, getting the DUI and having to go through all that.
What is all that? How much did it cost you, and how long did the repercussions kick your ass?
I was on probation for like 2 years. I didn't do no jail time, thankfully, because I was, kept my cool with the cop, and he was nice. I was nice. So
what about the money? How much money?
After court fees and lawyer, probably about $5,000-6,000.
Are you still paying for that, or have you paid all that off?
It's already paid off. I did like 9 months of no driving with the suspended, had a suspended license, so I couldn't drive.
Right. Man, that's something. Okay. Yep. Well, the reason we asked, when did things go from bad to worse? 3 individuals were hospitalized after a collision between a private vehicle and a Marin County Fire Department ambulance. The ambulance responded to a bicycle versus a vehicle accident.
Who won?
Just earlier. Paramedics were transporting the injured bicyclist in the ambulance when a car hit the ambulance. 25 minutes after the first collision with the bicyclist was hit by a car. A total of 3 ambulances, they say, were then dispatched. 1 for the injured cyclist,
right,
1 for the driver of the private vehicle, and 1 for the paramedic. The bicyclist had serious injuries, and both the driver of the private vehicle and the paramedic had minor injuries. The paramedic had been released from the hospital. No further information was available on the accident.
It's not funny, but damn, man.
And you get hit by a car on your bike, and then they put you in an ambulance because you're all jacked up, and then a car slams into the ambulance.
Random.
Hello, Cody. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Cody, let's see what we got here for you. Oh, Cody, how old are you?
25.
You're 25?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to just take a shot in the dark here, Cody. Cody, what STD have you had?
None.
None.
That bullet.
You've never had an STD.
No.
Have you ever thought you maybe were close to one?
Yeah, apparently during a high school party, I slept with some girl who had herpes, I guess. But, I mean, nothing ever happened. Nothing's ever come up. So.
Have you checked?
Yeah, you can get a blood test at your doctor that'll confirm that positive or not, because a lot of times, especially with a herpes virus, not that I know too much about this, but you are a carrier without having an actual episode yet. So in other words...
Yeah.
It's like walking through the woods in the winter and you don't see any bears. They're hibernating. They're there.
They are there.
You just don't know it,
They're
man.
sleeping.
Yeah.
One day, though, right when you least expect it, you're on vacation. And you have 8 days where you could be effing, but no.
Now, a couple years later, I had to get like full blood and physical and everything for my insurance for my new work. So yeah, nothing ever happened.
When you got all this blood work done, I'm guaranteeing at that moment you thought back to this story of you and the high school girl. How much was this on your mind as you're waiting for the test results?
I mean, it wasn't really. It was the back of my mind. I thought about it a little bit, but it wasn't really too prevalent. I mean, we were safe. We used protection and everything, so I wasn't really too worried about it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, that makes...
Yeah.
There you go. Safe sex.
Yeah. Well, the reason we asked what STD did you get, April is STD Awareness Month. And
the rest of the month, man, no condom, nothing.
Yeah,
you just go in raw, throw caution to the wind.
You can do tests. There's all kinds of things that you can do on here that are all very positive things.
Abstinence, Miles.
Abstinence is a great one, sure.
No, it's not.
No, we know that. Here's the hardest part about April being STD Awareness Month. One of the things
is there a better month for you?
One of the things that they want you to do. I like a shorter month when I'm talking about.
I think
STDs.
summer.
Yeah,
summer would be.
I think
strong.
right. It's springtime. Put a condom on.
They want you to basically come up with, just as a way of understanding what's going on there, of doing a family tree, so to speak, of your sexual history.
I think it's a bad idea for anybody.
So,
for anybody, don't do that.
Of the people you've slept with?
That is correct, Ted. They would like you to document all this
Can we
stuff.
not call it a family tree?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
That,
They want
already
you to
they start
it's like
wrong.
Ancestry.com. Like, they want you to go back.
No, that's Ancestry.com.
And find out all of your, all of your brothers and sisters in the world of sex. You know what I mean? Like, that would be really difficult, wouldn't it?
I think you'd forget a few, but I wonder how many Eskimo brothers and sisters would meet, right? So at some point, like, hey, instead of saying, hey, can you believe it? We're fourth cousins. It's more like, we both slept with Sheila. Because people always bring, I'm related to George Washington, as opposed to, man, we both tag the same family line.
We already brought up the hypothetical of you're in a room with everyone you've ever kissed.
Okay.
Maybe from junior high all the way up until where you are right now in life. Would you even know half these people? I'm just being honest. Like, maybe you kissed somebody.
I don't know if I would, because I don't know if I forgot.
High school or...
I think you'd remember their face. Like, there's plenty of people I'm sure we've all forgotten, right? But when you see them...
you would see a girlfriend that you know and go, oh, yeah, I remember you.
I don't know. We bumped into that one broad at the comedy club. I knew I recognized her, but
we didn't remember that you had sex with her.
No.
I'm just talking about kissing.
It must have been great.
Yeah. I mean,
Just
who
gotta put your final
who was
point
more
on it.
forgettable, you
But-
or her? Do you think?
Well, she remembered me before I remember her, so I wasn't great, but I did a little better. That's what I get out of that.
I think the weirdest thing with the kissing thing is you'd see people in there. How should I explain that? Like, you would know these people, just be like, oh, crap, I forgot we got drunk that one night.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, have you never been to a
Yeah,
party,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like midnight or whatever, and girl just grabbed you and kissed you when you were
All the
really
time,
young?
Miles. That's
That's
my lot in life.
I know. I mean, you got to be young. You know what I mean? Like, and not
Or,
ugly.
or it's got to be New Year's.
Right, something like that.
Still, no.
No. You don't think there'd be a lot of people in there you want to remember? I'm
I
not
think
saying,
maybe
and this is not
10% I would not
This is
remember.
this is just kissing somebody.
Just
Just
you have
kissing
to forget,
somebody.
right?
Yeah, you would
Yeah,
think so.
I don't frickin' know, man.
Okay.
But is it just people you've kissed? No one you slept with.
That's
just
what I'm
kissed.
saying. That way, it could have just been as innocent as a kiss, but you didn't sleep with them. But these are the people that you've kissed in your lifetime. Maybe you made out.
I mean, we've been with you when you didn't remember somebody you had sex with. So I feel like the chances are there going to be some people in this room you don't remember
that's
kissing.
dark.
Yeah, I don't remember having sex
I
with you.
bet you kissed her too.
Maybe.
The one you had, the girl you had sex
Memorable.
with. Right. Exactly.
Memorable. Like, oh, yeah.
Random question. 844-999-OLA. More of your calls coming up, as well as your guesses as good as mine. The categories are going to be picnics and husbands. That is all on the way. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
Hola, bichola. You have entered the men's room.
Coming up, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. The return of Ask the Men's Room is coming up. And the random question, 844-999-OLA.
Random.
Hello,
random,
Greg. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hola. What's happening there, Greg?
Random.
Not much. I just got home from work. Looking a little bit, hanging out.
Greg, let's go with this question here. What seemingly keeps happening to you? What has happened to you more often than others?
I don't know.
Or fired.
One thing I notice, I guess, whenever I go with my buddies or my wife, is that I always seem to get hit on by waitresses.
Oh, nice.
Okay. What's wrong with that?
Now, are you getting hit on by
Nothing wrong with
waitresses,
that.
or are they playing you to get a tip?
Who knows? They could be playing me, but I always feel good afterwards, so what's the matter?
All right. Do you think of yourself as a good-looking guy, or
I'm a decent-looking fella.
is it specifically just waitresses?
I mean, I get a couple waiters here and there. But
All right. Fair enough.
Sure.
Fair enough. Why not? So you're a good-looking guy. Okay. All right.
Maybe. Look, I know you're saying it, because, Miles, you're convinced, like, this waitress is hitting on me. I'm like, they think you're paying.
Oh, yeah.
Like, listen, it's just that easy, man. I mean, of course, they're being very nice. All of your jokes are funny. All of this, like, it is a home run. It's like, right, because you're going to tip better.
I will say, in his defense, I've been with him where it's like, that waitress is hitting on you.
On me?
Yeah.
All right. Sweet.
Miles
And
like me.
Well, and because we have this account, like, the only, like, girls I've ever, like, picked up at a place of employment was a waitress.
Yeah. I don't know.
Maybe we're just in more contact.
No,
with
no,
bartenders
listen,
and waitresses.
I think
You
that's where
picked
we.
her up.
I think that's where we swim more. You know what I mean? Like that's our.
Well, it's part of it, sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's kind of
your natural habitat.
We're in the pool a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like eventually, you get some chlorine on us probably. The reason we ask what keeps on happening to you. This is a crazy story. Dylan McWilliams does not believe that old saw they say about lightning never striking twice. Not after he was attacked by a shark on Thursdays in the waters of Kauai, less than a year after he was mauled and dragged by a black bear in the wilds of Colorado, and certainly not after he was bitten by a rattlesnake in Utah a little less than 3 years ago.
He puts himself in these situations.
He says, I don't know what it's all about. I'm either really lucky or really unlucky. McWilliams is 20 years old. He spends more time outdoors than most folks. Again, this is the pool he swims in. He's a former tree trimmer, ranch hand, and survival training instructor who loves extended journeys into the wilderness and the outdoors.
Then sure, man.
But how is he a survivalist expert if he keeps getting attacked?
But he survives.
Here's the thing about Kauai.
Survivalist, I mean, in the end, a survivalist is like, look, we can't do anything about the situation that happened. We are now just here to help you not die from whatever went down. So any survivalist can be attacked by a bear, Ted. But in the end, when they're like,
Look.
this is how you deal with the snap neck I have.
And not that Kauai is an unbelievable island. It's probably one of the more remote type of islands in Hawaii.
Not for sharks.
That's the thing.
Right.
There are chickens and roosters all over this island, but nothing that really can tear you up. So Mother Nature could kill you. You could fall off a cliff there. You could go hiking and the weather could kill you. But there's no animal in Kauai that can attack you really.
On Kauai.
Until you get into the water.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
That's the one
It's amazing
place.
that there's an animal because there's no snakes. If there were snakes, they'd eat all the chickens.
Right.
If there'd be any kind of natural predator. There really isn't one. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not an animal that could hurt you. You could be stung by something or whatever. Maybe that's the case.
But that doesn't scare people.
Something that's going to kill you, man. I mean, the only way that's going to happen is you get into the water.
And that's exactly what he did.
Right.
So he looks like half a seal.
He said he discovered the beautiful landscape of Kauai last year when he backpacked solo around the island. He came back for another 2-week backpacking tour, but ended up on the North Shore helping distressed residents clean up and move trees. They had some bad storms there.
Yeah.
He was in the muddy coastal waters. He said it was they were under a brown water advisory, but huge storms.
Me too at the moment.
Are I guess
That's a true thing.
I guess when the water turns brown, what you need to know is the sharks will come around. Did we know that?
Did you just make that rhyme?
just made that rhyme.
I did. Yes, I did.
When the water turns brown, the sharks
will
be coming
around.
round.
And they even say that more
Sharks
so.
are here to get down.
Like if you look at where
Eat some human.
a tributary flows into an ocean or any of those areas where waters change, and there's going to be some predators in there.
That makes sense, though.
Because it's cloudy, and they can't see you, you can't see them. They've got better senses.
I don't care about predators if you don't set yourself up to be prey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why seeing lions at the zoo is so cool, because I'm like, yeah, because he's there, man.
So he was itching to get in the water, and he found it at Shipwreck Beach in, I think it's called Poipu or Poo-Poo. I can't remember. I've been up there before. It's kind of where the road ends. Bright and early, he was in the water. It was clear and blue and inviting with 3 to 5 foot waves. There were a handful of others enjoying the surf. He entered the water with his boogie board at around 7:30 in the morning and caught his first wave. As he was headed back out, another wave knocked him off his board in 15 feet of water about 30 yards from shore. That's when he felt the searing pain in his right calf. At first, I panicked. He said, I didn't know if I'd lost my leg or what. McWilliams said beneath him was looked to be an 8-foot tiger shark. He saw the stripes, and he gave it a swift kick before launching into a desperate swim to shore. That was the scariest part. I didn't know where he was, and I didn't know if he was going to come back. On the beach, his calls for help were heard by a woman who came to his aid. She called authorities, and as he sat on the beach, his leg dripping with blood, he realized his injuries could have been a lot worse. Paramedics did come down and took him to the hospital. Got some stitches. He should be okay. But yes, got to remember this is the same guy who got 9 staples on his scalp after a 280-pound black bear woke him up as he slept outdoors with other staff members at a summer camp.
But it picked him. See, it still picked him.
Dragged him by the back of the head 12 feet. He remembers waking up to the sound of the crunching of his skull. And as he was being drug away, he instinctively fought back, throwing punches and poking the bear in the eyeballs.
Well, yeah.
Money. He dropped me as soon as I went to the eyeballs, he said. The bear stomped on him. I've had this theory for a while.
Damn.
And finally slunk away as other camp staffers came to the rescue. No one likes having
They
things in
didn't
their
come
eye.
to the rescue. They did not come to the rescue.
He said, if I push on my head in this one spot, it still hurts a little. The teeth scars are still there, but the claw marks on his forehead have faded some, which is nice. I guess I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. And then, of course, there was not
you
too
were
long ago where he
outside
was
with other people. The bear had an option of which person was going to be tastiest. It picked you.
And it was just 3.5 years ago when a pygmy faded rattlesnake surprised him as he was hiking out of the canyon.
Surprise!
In Utah. Turns out it was what they call a dry bite, which gave him only enough venom to make him ill for a day or two. My parents are grateful I'm still alive. He was out in the middle of nowhere. He would have died if it would have been a full-on...
Yeah, rattlesnakes are known for surprising people because they don't have a rattle or anything.
Yes.
By the way, Miles, it was pointed out, just
Dry
saying.
bites. Okay.
They want to let you know, hey, I don't want to mess with you. I'm right here. They're saying as far as your island, Kauai.
Right.
As far as animals that could kill you, everyone is saying wild boar.
Okay, wild boar.
They're saying huge wild boar.
All right, that's fair enough. Sure.
Do they eat? I would think they would eat the hell out of the chickens, man.
I would
Chickens
just,
seem like an easy mark, right?
They do.
They have great lunch meats. I mean, that's one thing that those animals are great for. Their lunch meat's unbelievable.
Oh, the chickens?
Oh, no, the boar's
Just
head.
the head.
Oh,
Yeah.
the boars. I will say, if it's
Pepper
boar's
turkey.
head, I will buy it.
Yeah.
I will do that.
Yeah.
Mustard and meat. Boar's head is that good. I'm just telling you, it's worth it. Just do it.
They serve a purpose, sir.
Yeah. Pastrami, everything.
You
What
can't
is
name
this,
a meat that's
pastrami
not good,
turkey?
man.
Yeah.
That
What is
peppered
this?
turkey, good God, man.
Robin, who is this young hipster band that's playing out beside us in the lobby? Do you know?
Good God, they're loud. I mean, it's a band. Listen, the way they have our studio set up, there is a live performance
area.
space.
Yeah.
And, most radio booths are soundproof. Ours is not one of those.
We have new studios, so they didn't think of that.
Yeah. Small oversight. Hello, Brandon. Welcome to the men's room.
Caw, bitches. What's going on?
How are you, Brandon?
Oh, not too bad, man. How are you?
We're doing great. All right, we should be able to get something out of this from you. What were you hiding, Brandon? What were you hiding, and who were you hiding it from?
Let's see. Let's just go back to childhood. Pornography from my parents. We'll just start with that one.
What were you? Magazines, DVDs, computer? What?
Well, see, here's the thing. Like, my dad really enjoyed pornography, so he always had, like, a subscription to the porno channel, but they didn't know that I knew the code to the DirecTV.
How did you get the code?
So I had access
because
to
it was
his porno
porn
channel,
and he
but
was a
it
kid.
It was up until that point I was good.
I don't know what it is.
How
When
did
you
you,
were a young man and there's porn, and I don't care if you put it in a safety deposit box, if you put it on the computer, we become code breakers. If we know there's boobs on the other side of any obstacle, hand your puzzle to a 12-year-old kid, and he will decrypt this thing in 15 seconds.
How did you figure out the code? How did you figure out the code?
Oh, it was his birthday.
It was his birthday. Okay. Wouldn't it be funny if it was your birthday?
It was my dad's birthday. Like, he really didn't try too hard.
If it was your birthday, would you be disturbed?
Right. Says a lot more.
Yeah, I think it would have made me...
Fuck out.
But since it was his birthday, I think everything...
All right.
How did you hide? I mean, did it register when you logged in to watch this stuff?
Hello.
Say one more time. Sorry, my phone broke up.
How did you hide this? I mean, did it log in? Did it record every time you went in to watch porn?
No, it was like the pay-per-view channel. Like, he bought it like per month. So as long as you paid for it per month, it was just like the adult program that locked you out.
It's like HBO. You can watch it anytime you want.
I think it's got to be. Look, kids have it a lot easier now, and you'll always hear that statement every generation. But I do believe as far as hiding your porn consumption, it's got to be tougher now, because before you get your own phone or your own iPad, like anything you do on the house computer, man, the history's there. So look, if you're surfing porn, and it doesn't matter what you think you did to erase that, your parents probably know you're surfing porn. At least with us, it was just hide your magazines, and you start under your mattress, you get busted. You try the closet, you get busted. But Miles, you got to the point, what'd you say? The plastic bag buried in the woods. Oh, yeah. And it was communal.
That was a communal thing. And you really didn't even need the plastic bag, because the pages were so glossy. And so
that was a high quality stuff. You had those magazines.
Oh, I mean, we had all the crap.
Oh,
we had the cherries of the world, the
It's
swanks.
not that. Look, in the world of porn magazines, we got the real cheap ones, because this is how we got our porn, right?
Right.
You had the real cheap ones. You had the ones from England, which meant really ugly women but huge boobs. That's what they were known. Jugs, Mayfair, all that.
Yeah.
Right? It should be called like Areola Us. But every once in a while, someone got their hands on one that was high gloss, and you just knew. High gloss said dirtier, filthier.
You could go
much more explicit, and man, oh man, it was
even just the commercials in the back.
Oh my God, they were better than a full issue of Playboy.
There was a primary newspaper distribution center that was very, very close to where we lived at one point in time, and we knew the people who worked there, because they would take the trucks and they would drive to the Krogers, the grocery stores of the world, the 7-Elevens when they had magazine racks, all that stuff, and they would stock all of those places. Well, obviously, everything doesn't sell. So, with Sports Illustrated, okay, if last week's issue did not sell, it's still not on the stands. You go there and you put the new magazine up, you take all the old ones away.
What do they, like, put a hole punch through it, or cut the corner or something?
You tear off the top part of the name, and then they send that back to Sports Illustrated, and they get reimbursed for the issues that didn't sell. Coincidentally, they might not put as many Sports Illustrated into that store. They might, maybe only get 10 now instead of 15, because you always bring back 5, whatever the deal is. But then they would dump all these magazines in the back alley to be thrown away. So it didn't matter what it was. It could have been guns and ammo. It could have been, and we dug for all the pornography.
Of course.
Which was pretty easy to find, because it was in the best shape, because all that stuff was pre-wrapped even before it was thrown away. So
that's the other thing. Porn, if you got a porn and your buddy, it was still like in a sealed plastic bag, you're like, this is going to be good stuff.
Yeah.
It's going to be real good
I think in my
stuff.
adult life, the only thing I really used to hide was, just when my kids were young, was marijuana.
Yeah, I just keep everything elevated.
Stuff like
That's
that.
all it is.
And now that it's legalized and my kids are older, I just leave it out. I mean,
What about dogs? You got to hide chocolate and stuff?
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Reason we asked, what were you hiding? We go to, ironically enough, Jamaica, New York. An arriving
Come on.
passenger at John F. Kennedy International Airport did not enjoy a happy hour as U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers seized her illegal cocktail. On April 8th, Miss Stephisha Miller, a Jamaican citizen, arrived on a flight from Kingston, Jamaica.
To Jamaica,
and
New York.
they inspected a duty-free box she was carrying that contained 2 Bailey's bottles with a plastic bag inside.
Duty-free.
Those were rum cream, by the way. Miss Miller went into a private room where the bottles were examined, revealing a bag of white powder that tested positive for cocaine. The weight of the cocaine seized was approximately 6 pounds.
Damn.
With a street value of $110,000. She had also flown into that airport 10 times over the last 4 months just to visit.
You don't think they're going to pay attention to you,
That's
man.
the woman that flew from Kingston?
Oh, yeah. No, this is a different one.
Oh.
This is a daycare worker who built an elaborate drug den inside a YMCA laundry room cabinet where she hid there to smoke meth while on the job working with infants.
She looks like she's in the
That's
back.
what, right. That picture looks like a woman who did exactly
The
that.
alleged actions by the worker, Autumn Sienna Hines, led to a positive test for meth contamination in every room of the facility in Missoula, Montana.
Damn.
Specifically, including the infant room. She is being held in the jail on felony charges of criminal endangerment of a child. In the daycare area.
Come on, man.
She basically set up her own drug den.
I mean, look, my kids went to daycare. I'll be honest with you. I don't care if you smoke crack. Can you not smoke crack while you're watching the kid, man? That's all.
Random.
You know what? I take it back.
Yeah.
Hello, Anthony. Welcome to the men's room.
Anthony! Hola! Anthony, do you want a random question, or do you want me to give you an inappropriate question?
Hey, you can give me whatever question you want. I just got
It's
All right.
Steve! Inappropriate question.
Okay. You wanted it. Let's see here. Okay. Anthony, here is your inappropriate question. Where is the most public place that you've had an orgasm?
alleyway in downtown Seattle.
In an alleyway?
Were you by yourself?
No.
Hey, that's why we said orgasm, man, because look, there's people where you might get busted having sex, in which case you're not proud, but you can deal with it. But getting busted by yourself, to me, that, like, dude, how bad are things?
Were you with your friend Tom?
No, I was with my lady currently.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Oh, so is that when you knew that this was maybe something that was going to last for years down the road? Nothing like a good old-fashioned in a dark alley, like this is the woman I want to marry?
I mean, if that's the case, then yeah. I mean, my buddies always told me that she's definitely a keeper after that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm serious.
You know what? And that's all the judgment they need.
She did what?
You had sex with her in an alley? Yeah, man.
Was that all? It was just a make-out session? Was that all the farther I went, or did it go full on?
You said
Well,
orgasm.
we were
orgasm.
making out, and then all of a sudden we had to make it out of the car because we had people around, and it was a perfect timing.
Okay.
You know it's perfect timing when you're in an alley of a major downtown metropolitan area.
So it was full-on sex then, in the alley?
Yeah.
Oh, outstanding.
What did it
All right.
smell like? Like, what was your distraction? Because it's something.
If it would have smelled bad, it wouldn't have been.
I mean, the alley.
care.
We're talking about the alley.
The alley.
The alley. The smell of the alley.
Oh yeah, no. The
Jeez.
smell down there on her was a.
No.
the alley.
The alley. What did the alley smell?
Alleys traditionally
Not bad at
smell.
all. It was one of the cleaner ones out there.
Okay.
Okay. Because, I mean, normally it's what? It smells like a dumpster.
Christ. The alley.
What did the alley
The
say?
alley.
Not your girlfriend's hoo-ha.
You know, she's a little funky,
The
but I
alley.
love her.
God damn.
Man, oh,
Come
man.
on.
Stick with her.
Why would he think that's what I'm talking about?
alley.
You said you had sex in an
The
alley.
alley. God.
What did the alley smell
Right.
like? And the worst part is I said
Jesus.
it smells like pee and trash.
Oh, no, man. You know, she's...
I meant the alley probably smells
Holy
like
cow.
pee and trash.
Random
name was
question.
Allie.
Man,
844-999 Ola, more your calls coming up after the break. You are listening to the Men's Room Radio Network.
We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Hang on, your guess is as good as mine. Coming up the categories today, as it is National Picnic Day. You already knew that. I don't need to tell you that. Picnics and husbands coming up with your guess is as good as mine. In the meantime, it is our random question. 844-999 Ola.
Random.
Hello, Xander. Welcome to the men's room.
Random.
Hi, how's it going?
Hola.
All right, Xander. Let's go with this one here. What celebrity would you say that you are most obsessed with? What celebrity are you most obsessed with? If there is such a thing.
With celebrity, let's see. Oh man, there's a lot of them, but oh man, I'm trying to think.
I mean, it comes and goes in phases. When we were growing up, Miles and I, Farrah Fawcett was all the rage.
Sure,
there was no question.
And yeah, Christopher Walken is a really big fan. I'm not like really obsessed with him, but
has he been in any movies that you haven't seen?
Say again?
Has Christopher Walken been in any movies that you have not seen?
Yes, there's a few movies, but I mean, I've seen a lot of things like his. Like I even watched the Puss in Boots that he did way back in the '60s.
Damn.
Okay.
What is it? Is it his acting style, his charisma? What is it about him?
It's him. It's the whole package of him. Like he's got the charisma, he's got the style, and he can do a lot of different things. He shouldn't be typecasted, but because he can do so many different things. But I like him as a mobster and all that. You know who I really love though is Seth Green.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Really? Someone should let Seth Green know that. I don't think Seth Green hears that a lot.
No, he probably doesn't. I really love him though. He's got all kinds of he just does all the wacky things that I love, and he's been in so many crazy movies. Like you ever seen Knockaround Guys? It's a wacky movie that no one's ever seen. That's got Vin Diesel and all that, and
Vin Diesel and Seth Green. I can't believe that marquee lineup did not. I have not seen it or heard of it, but okay. All right, there you go, man.
Yep.
My mother's in love with Christopher Walken, by the way.
Is she really?
I mean, like, it's weird, man.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, if she brings him up in no context at all. I mean, like, you're not talking about movie, just somebody could be like, hey, could you pass the pepper? And she's like, Christopher Walken.
Other than True Romance, what am I missing? Like, I know he's been in a lot of different movies.
He's been in a million movies.
But as far as something that's popular that I should have seen that maybe I'm not thinking of right now, because I can't think of anything other than True Romance.
I mean, old school, you could go like King of New York.
I never saw it.
Yeah.
So I mean, what's the one with him and like the younger guys are like kidnapping people and they have like a hostage?
I don't know.
I want to see Jay Moore's in it.
Jay Moore. Probably 10 or 15 years ago, somewhere around there.
Reason we asked what celebrity are you obsessed with? Man, oh man, Taylor Swift. She is. She's got a ton of stalkers. Another one broke into her New York City townhome and took a nap. Police say officers investigating a reported break-in found 22-year-old Roger Alvarado asleep in the pop star's home. Alvarado of Homestead, Florida, was arrested on charges of stalking, burglary, criminal mischief, and trespassing. It's not clear whether he has an attorney, how the hell he got in there, how he got into the bedroom. But this is like the third incident that has happened to Taylor Swift within the past month. It was someone who's threw a bag over her fence at another home with, I don't know. It's been, it's crazy.
Then there's a guy outside of her Beverly Hills home. He didn't get inside, but when they went into his car, man, there was, I don't know, like rope and masks.
Now, how is Taylor Swift speaking to all these nut jobs? That is the crazy thing about it. They all say the same thing. They all say that they feel like that she is their girlfriend and she is talking
music?
to them. Yes.
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Like, typically, you get one or two crazy people that say, hey, I feel like they were speaking. But Taylor Swift, it seems like there's one a month at least, right? So on average, 12 a year.
This does not happen to Drake or anybody like that.
Say, hey, man.
Like who has popular songs.
It happens to Drake.
Not like this. I mean,
it
like,
doesn't happen. It doesn't happen to anyone like it does with her. Like
Katy
with her,
Perry, whoever.
It like if you're a celebrity, I'm sure at some point you've had your weird interaction from that person, right? But with her, man, I mean, this is like all the time. And my thought, Miles, I said this to you in the office, and nothing against her, but from what we've heard about her relationships, what her albums reflect, and I don't know a ton about her, but you hear this crap. I'm like, she doesn't sound like the person you'd want to be in a relationship with.
Apparently she doesn't. That's not her thing.
Right, that's what I mean.
That's not what she does.
I don't know.
And I saw her. I went to her concert a few years back.
How was it?
It was a great show. I didn't know any of the music, but as far as just the spectacle of the concert itself,
right.
As far as the entertainment value, the dancing, the choreography, all that crap that they were doing up on stage, it was a great show. If I'd known the music, I probably would have enjoyed it more, but it was still enjoyable.
Are you sure about that?
Well, you're still enjoyable when you don't know the music, then that's probably a pretty good concert.
I think that's better in her case.
Maybe so. Random question, 844-999-OLA.
Hola! The shenanigans continue on the Men's Room Radio Network.